Olá a todos, bem-vindos a mais uma conversa da Look Mag. Hoje continuamos a caminho do Comendatio Music Fest e é um prazer enorme contar aqui, hoje, nas nossas conversas com os Ocean at Alaska. É um prazer enorme ter estes músicos aqui conosco que nos vão revelar um bocadinho sobre a sua história, sobre o último disco e tudo o que podemos esperar do concerto deles no festival. Eles não estão a perceber nada do que eu estou a dizer, por isso vamos trocar agora um pouco de linguagem para eles nos entenderem. Hello, guys. It is
Hey,
a great and huge pleasure to have you here in our talks. So, first of all, thank you. And second, welcome to our talks.
thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
I would like, they are looking on the other side because all the members of the band are here, but some of them doesn't want to
He wants to eat.
show them. Oh, they're.
Sorry, I'm just finishing my dinner, but I'm still very excited to
Yeah,
be
he's
here.
finishing his dinner and the other one is finishing his beer. So we're cool. We're cool. We're cool.
Yeah,
That's right.
I would like to start by asking you because I've been talking with some friends and some people, and don't be sad, but the only person with whom I spoke to and told me they are great was my son.
Oh,
So I have to ask you.
We like your son.
Yes, you knew you're going to love him. I
Yeah.
absolutely know that you're going to love him. So I would like to ask you because the band goes back to 2010, I suppose, and I would like to ask you how did it all begin? You are from Birmingham in England, so I would like to ask you first of all, when did this adventure begin?
I'll take this one, guys.
So it was actually myself and Chris, the drummer, the dinner eater. Me and him went to school together, and we kind of like joined a band, like made a band, and just started like making tunes, and it kind of like grew from there. We had some other friends that were in the band as well, that were from the same school, but we kind of like people would have different interests and move on with other things, and we started playing some shows, and we started meeting other people from like different schools, and kind of like building some more, getting some more members there, like other guitarists and vocalists and whatnot. And yeah, it just kind of grew from that. We were playing some shows and just getting recordings done. And that kind of like started off properly with like Clocks and Taming Lions. They were like Clocks was our first music video. And yeah, that got like really popular on YouTube, and then we were just like, okay, this is cool. This seems people seem to be liking what we're doing, and just started writing more tracks and like got like an EP together as well.
Which EP was that?
That was Into the Deep. So that was like a 5-track that we did, and then we were getting like a bit older then. I think we were like 16, 17 when we went to go do like, well, basically we wrote an album then afterwards.
Basically, you were babies. Keep going.
Yeah, that's
keep
right.
Going.
We were mad young.
To summarize everything he just said in one sentence, is
With-
we started out in school as just like kids messing around. We were under a different band name, whatever. And then we sort of started to figure things out, took it a bit more seriously when we were in college. That's when we did the EP. And the EP did quite well. We got a bit of interest. We wrote the record, Lost Styles, and then we got signed to Fearless. And that was when things really picked up. We started touring thanks to Fearless's backing. And, we started, going out to America and doing a lot more touring. And things just went from there, to be honest. But if you go back far enough, we were literally just kids at school, like trying to do a band. It's like crazy to think it was like, technically it was my first band. I assume it was your first band as well, which is like a really weird thought. People often ask me, so what was your first band like? And I'm like, well, actually, it's kind of this one.
Kind of this one, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm curious about one thing because you said before. I think James said before that you launched something on YouTube and you had a lot of feedback,
right.
good of
That's
feedback.
right, yeah.
I'm curious because you are a very young band and a very young persons, and I'm not. I'm from the 80s, okay? And
I'm from the 90s, it's fine.
back then, all the musicians, they don't have the tools that you have.
Yes.
Internet, Wi-Fi, YouTube, whatever. But now you do.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easier for you as a band to bring your music to the fans all over the world? Do you think it's easier or it's difficult because there are so many bands at this moment that are doing the same process that you do? What is your opinion as a band about this?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but in my personal opinion, it comes with like challenges, like you said, because it's so accessible. Everybody can record from home now. Before you'd have to pay to go to a studio, which meant that there was far less people releasing music, and it was harder to release music because now you can just upload it to DistroKid. So yeah, in some regards, it's more difficult because there is a sea of music now. The last stat I saw was there is a song uploaded to Spotify on average every second.
Jeez.
Wow.
Which is,
That's mad.
I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I did see
Me neither.
that stat somewhere. And yeah, when you think of it like that, it's kind of scary because you start to think like, how do you stay afloat? How do you compete? But on the other hand, it does mean you have a constant way to promote yourself from home. So it swings and roundabouts. I think with us, we sort of started back in the era before. I mean, the internet was a thing, but not the way it is today.
No.
iTunes back in the
Yeah,
day. Like buying it on iTunes.
We were still doing physical CDs. Like when we got signed, we actually physically mailed the CD to the label, like in the post, and that's how they found us and stuff. So we started before the days of the internet being like a big thing, and now we're having to try to evolve and keep afloat with it. So we're sort of we've got our foot in both sides of this.
But
Yeah.
Constant stream of content being exhausting. Like,
Should we do a
yeah, switch.
it's like there's a lot more pressure these days on people to be like content creators now. So because of the sheer volume of people putting stuff out, you have to continually push yourself to be in people's like mind at all times. And that's like quite an exhausting process. So like Chris said, like before, yeah, it's easier per se to get music out there, but it's also more of a pressure to stay in people's like feeds constantly and remind people that you're present and remind people that you're there.
You have to be in Instagram, you have to be in TikTok, you have to
you have to be content creators as well as like musicians and as well as everything else.
And
I'm personally, I'm such a perfectionist with like videos and stuff that I spend so long. Like I'm working on a YouTube video right now and I'm spending so long editing it, and it means that I kind of drop off the radar before I come back, and it's it is tough to like try and manage all of it. But you just have to.
You just have to. There's no other choice. Let's keep going. Let's keep the ball rolling. Can you tell me the secret or the story behind the name? Because it's not a very, I don't know how to say this, usual, common, whatever name for a band. Can you tell us?
Yeah. Who wants this one?
Go on, Jibs. You know you've done this a few times.
The origin of the band name?
Of course.
So one of our previous vocalists saw I think it was like a newspaper headline, or like an old one that he found on the internet about this mega tsunami that hit Alaska in the 1950s or 1958 or something, and I think it said something like the oceans of in Alaska because it was so massive it just like engulfed one of the coasts. And yeah, he just brought it to us, and we just thought that's a cool name. It's got a cool kind of meaning to it as well. And I think we just stuck with that. I mean, we were really young when we came up with it, so we were just like, whoa, like yeah, that'll do, sort of thing.
You know one thing that's very, very funny, because the name it's Oceans at Alaska. Mm-hmm. You know the little word that you have between oceans and Alaska could be a Portuguese word because it means until.
Oh, okay. So oceans until. That's way sicker.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought, wow, because do they know Portuguese? Because this is great. Oceans until Alaska. It's wonderful.
Sounds like a road trip to Alaska, doesn't it?
I tell you what, when we'll introduce ourselves as that at Comendatio Festival.
Well, until
That's what
until you spoke about your previous oh God help me, singer.
I can't.
No, you can't.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you can't.
I want to though.
You want to though. And I want you to tell me about you. like they say in America, tell me, you pretty thing, what do you have to tell me? Tell me about
the previous vocalists.
no, tell me about you.
About me.
Tell about
Yeah.
you.
Of course.
Well, I was originally recording a band that I started during COVID with Chris, and we just were hanging out, just recording my other band, having fun. We got on quite well from like day dot, and then it was actually thanks to our other friend. We were out having some food, and it literally was just a bit of fun. It just said, "Oh, you should jump on this track that they were writing at the time," and I was like, "I don't know about that." And I think Chris was not really too down for it. He was kind of like, "Nah, I'm not really in the mood." But then my other friend was kind of really pushing for it, so I kind of put something down on it as a bit of fun. And then nothing really came of it as such, did it?
Yeah.
Nothing really came of it as such. And I was like, okay, well, that was fun, I guess. Cool, I guess that was fun. And then you guys had your own separate things going on, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just something that kind of developed from there and became what it is now.
Yeah.
Mr. Vocalist.
Mr. Joel.
Mr. Joel.
Mr. Vocalist, I like that. Mr. Vocalist. Did you adapt well to these other three guys?
I'd say we got on quite well. Yeah, from the beginning. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mhm.
Tried my best.
And the way that you sang before, and all the music that you played and sang before, it was similar. You already spoke about the project that you had with Chris during the pandemic, the COVID, but it was easy for you to adapt to this kind of music?
Oh yeah. So the project that I was just recording like my own project with him. It wasn't one I started with Chris. Like I personally only knew because I was in other bands before. I only knew guys from like passing, when we played like similar festivals and such like that. So I hadn't actually met any of them on like proper terms of any good substance. And then I just started recording my vocals for my other band with Chris because he was recording for me. And no, not really. I hadn't done the caliber of what I'm doing now before. It's been an extensive and aggressive learning curve for myself.
It's very different?
Yes. Yeah.
What did you did before?
It was mainly just screaming before. I'd never like sung before. I'd certainly never sung in front of people before.
Really?
Yeah, so yeah, literally it was all very like new to me. A lot of it still is.
Did you had stress during the time that you began sung with them?
Well, because everything was so like when I got in the band and when I joined the band, it was such a small time frame.
Yeah.
For us getting together and then heading out on tour together. It was such a like tiny window.
It's like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we literally didn't really have that like full extensive band experience, of like practicing and getting things perfect and stuff like that. And like I said before, I headed out on tour. I hadn't sung in front of people before.
Yeah.
I'd only sung like to myself or in the studio, like stuff like that. So then getting with these guys and having this amazing thing happen and being asked to be a part of it in like such a tiny window and then being like, okay, now you're going on this like massive tour. It was all like, well, okay, I'll try my best. Like, I'll literally try my best. And that was a massive learning curve for me because I was using like in-ears for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Finding my voice.
It's not easy. It's not easy to
No,
use
it's
in
really
ears.
not. It's that even that in itself was difficult, like because beforehand I was only screaming. Trying to like learn to scream with the in-ears in was completely different. And then having the confidence to these big shows to sing in front of people when I'd never done that before was insane, really, to be honest. But because these guys are such professionals and like because they'd asked me to be like a part of something that was so special to them, I was like really pushing myself to try and do the best job I possibly could.
I have to ask you one thing. The first time that you were on stage in front of those persons of that audience, what did you felt? What did your heart say? Just terrified.
The most anxiety, like and my in-ears actually cut out on that first show as well. So I remember looking at you, didn't I? And I was like
oh yeah, God,
like the first show, my very first show, to like prove to these people what I'm worth and prove to the crowd and all the people recording, and I was like, I can't hear anything. It was literally the most anxiety. Yeah, it was terrifying.
It was terrifying, but I imagine that at the end, the feeling was pretty good. No,
at the end of the tour, I'm quite an anxious person generally, and it took me to the end of the tour to actually start to get to grips with things. And at the end of the tour, I was just really happy that we kind of got on so well as people, and I was really, really thankful for all the like lovely people that came and spoke to me afterwards, and all the fans that kind of welcome me with open arms and everything. That was kind of what built my confidence up for me. It didn't come from me, it came from these guys, these three here, and then like the fans and stuff that every night of the merch that were just so cool to me. And like it would have been so easy for them to just drag me through the mud, on a band that they've loved for so many years. But they didn't. I got like, I don't know, I was just welcomed quite nicely.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. And it's a good example for those that are listening to us that are trying to have a band or are trying to sing or whatever. Not everything begins like in a smooth way. We have to fight for things. We have to go through some dark waves and some shit. So we have to go through and prove ourselves among the others. And that's pretty cool as a band and as a musician. Applause to you and to them also.
Thank you.
Tell me one thing, because this was a question that my son asked me to do. Being a metalcore, a modern, I don't know if I can say like this. If I'm wrong, please tell me. Being a modern metalcore band, what would you say what are your main influences in music and singing and writing? Tell me all about that.
Does anyone else want to take it? You've not spoken for a while.
Should we do camera angle 2?
Camera 1.
And we're back.
And we're back.
What's interesting about our writing time is we all have quite unique music taste, and when we write music, we always write as a full unit with everybody here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it really is a combination of all of us. I think it was actually Jibs said to me recently, maybe just last week, I think, was it, Jibs?
What did I say?
Something about how you've just stopped trying to write Ocean stuff without everyone together because it just doesn't sound like Ocean.
Yeah, it was literally like 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like it really is a combination of all of our tastes put together, and when we try and write in isolation, it often doesn't sound like Oceans, which is super weird. But yeah, I think at least on my behalf, I don't really have much metalcore influence from what I bring to the table.
And what do you bring to the table?
My obviously being the drummer, I bring a lot of rhythmical influence, and that's kind of the main thing I care about is like dynamics and texture. So
writing beats as well.
Yeah, I write beats as well, but I think the main thing I bring to the table is just making sure everything has the right rhythmical cadence and the right sort of rhythmical energy and texture to that. So yeah,
all the instruments and the voice are very important in metalcore.
Yeah.
But the drum is essential.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting because the more bands I speak to, that write this kind of music, the
Mhm.
more I learn that the drummers are often one of the major songwriters in the band, which I found really interesting because,
Yeah.
you know, I'm heavily involved with songwriting with Oceans, and I guess before I had friends in other bands that did this, I thought it was quite unique that the drummer was so involved, but yeah, it turns out it's not that unique, and that's quite a common thing. I guess because it is quite a rhythmical genre,
Yeah.
that just kind of happens naturally, I suppose. But yeah, in terms of influence, honestly, we all have very unique taste, and
Tell me a band. Come on, I'm going to ask you, all four of you.
okay.
A band,
So-
one band. So everybody that is listening to us could see and learn something more.
I'm just going to tell you.
No, don't go to Spotify.
I'm just going to tell you the last thing I listened to. Okay, the last thing I listened to was "Like Jenny" by Jenny, which is a K-pop song.
A K-pop song. Oh Jesus! Oh God!
If you will, anyway, like basically just a pop song. When it comes to metal, I listen to really like over the top sort of metal stuff. Like,
don't forget, guys, that you are coming from Birmingham.
Yes,
the land of.
Yeah, so there's some people we should mention for our heritage. But I'm not going to, because honestly, I don't really listen. Actually, some members live not that far from here at all. Actually,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, when it comes to metal, I listen to like Car Bomb, Born of Osiris, things like that. Kind of more.
Born of Osiris come to next week to Portugal.
Oh yeah, they are, right? Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of Born of Osiris, and personally as well, I love those guys. They're
Nice.
some of the best dudes. So.
And the other members of the band?
Yeah, you guys are.
Mike.
Ah!
Don't tell me you listen to K-pop too.
I'm afraid. No, I'm joking. No,
Ah.
I like Architects. They're definitely
Pretty cool. They gave a wonderful concert. I think was a month, 2 ago in Lisbon. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they're insane live. Sam's an incredible vocalist. But
yeah, he is.
Yeah, just as a whole, I love Architects. Yeah, good influential band to bring in.
And on come back to Mike again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. And being on stage, Mike, it is easier for you to being in front of all the persons looking at you playing and everything.
It is now.
It is now.
I was definitely nervous on stage when I first joined the band, but now it's a good bit of fun. You know, me and Jibs, we have a good laugh on stage, don't we?
We do.
It's a lot of fun.
Because the other two, one is in the back, the other is in the front, so you are in the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Joel's in the middle.
Joel's in the middle. And now, the other two. Tell me, darling.
I'd say all-time favorite is Slipknot. Gotta be Slipknot. Yeah, still.
They'll be in Lisbon again.
Hell yeah. Yes, when I first heard Slipknot when I was like 9, I was like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever heard. And then I still listen to those first 3 albums like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever heard. So.
And one thing that's pretty cool about Slipknot, because they have all that sound, all that strength, everything, and the voice and everything, but the voice at the same time is so pure, it's so clear, it's so magnetic.
Yeah.
They are awesome.
I think that's one of the things that like between my vocals that I always put across is like emotion. I like emotion in vocals. Like it's really cool when you get, you know, vocalists doing these like crazy vocal gymnastics and stuff, and they sound aesthetically like insane, but I will take like solid emotion over that any day. And that's thanks to bands like Slipknot.
Of course. I totally agree with you.
Where's
the other guy?
Hello,
babe.
Hello, babe.
Babe, darling.
Baby darling. That's what my wife calls me.
In high school, wasn't it?
In high school.
Yeah, similar to these guys, really. I used to love Slipknot when I was younger as well. I think that it might have been their second Architects album, Hollow Crown. I used to absolutely like loved that. I wanted to learn all the songs. Like Misery Signals as well. They were like they were definitely influential. I think like these days, I'm always going on about it to the lads, but I think I listen to Made Them Suffer quite a lot as well for nower influences. They're pretty sick. I was actually just listening to the newer Day to Remember album as
Mm-hmm.
well the other day, which was pretty cool. So yeah, very similar to these guys.
That's nice. That's nice. It's a nice range of musicians and good bands. So the persons that are listening to us, go and try to find something, and try to find something between all of you and them, and that's pretty cool. You launch one album in 2022, I suppose. Was the last one?
I think so, yeah, something like
Yes,
that. Yeah.
yes, it was the last one. I have to ask this because James back then was at the band. Um, I think he was returned to the band back then, wasn't it? Yeah. Did this coming back, shall we say, of him to the band, had any effect on this record? And if it did it change from what you were, I don't know, thinking of doing or not?
Do you mean did he have an effect on that
On
Disparity
that,
record?
on exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, like we kind of like came back together, and it was kind of like how we did Lost Isles again, but we were just older. Had done like a lot of touring as well, so there was definitely some similarities, but obviously, like I said, like time had passed, so some bits and pieces there.
Did the name of that album had anything to do with COVID and the pandemic that we had during those years or not?
No, I think Disparity was kind of like it was it was kind of to do with how we had like these really kind of opposite sounds with like some of like the lo-fi influence, which but greatly different from some of the more deathcore sounds that we had in the album. I
Mm-hmm,
think it was kind of like a kind of linked to that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the process of doing that record, was it very different from the previous two one?
I think there was like some differences there because obviously COVID happened,
Yeah, of
so
course.
we were a little bit more spaced out. So that definitely was like something that we'd never experienced before. A lot of bands probably never experienced before as well. So like the time that it took to do it was definitely longer because of that, but that couldn't have been helped by anything really.
Mm-hmm. Chris told us before that you write all together. In this record, it was like this. The composition and lyrics and music, you do it all together, or you had to separate the doing it, maybe because of the COVID, where you were not together. But what do you think about that?
Did
It
you
was
want?
together or not?
I think with lyrics is a bit different.
Okay.
Even now, I think what I meant earlier was instrumentally, we tend to do everything as a unit.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Instruments. Okay.
I think like especially with yourself, Joel, like the lyrics that you sing, you mentioned earlier how you like to put emotion behind it, and you can't really connect, you can't personally connect to a lyric and put the suitable emotion behind it if the lyric didn't really come from yourself, sort of thing. I believe you've sort of said similar things as well in the past, right? Yeah. So when it comes to lyric writing, it's normally a lot more personal, I think. Of course, we all do, have our input and contributions to help, but it's usually contributions to help tweak it to fit the right pattern or to fit the right, whatever part of the song. But normally the content of the lyrics does come from the vocalist, and I'm pretty sure that was the same with Disparity. James definitely was working on the lyrics for that. And then instrumentally, we'd done written a lot of the record as a unit way prior to COVID anyway.
Okay.
So it was a little bit disjointed in that sense for this record. But it definitely still came together. We all still came together and made sure that it got glued up you know.
Mhm. When you listen to those songs and you, I'm going to put like in commas, when you compare those songs on that record with the previous two, do you think there was a continuity, or it's pretty different from the other two?
I believe there is plenty, yeah.
Hmm.
I think that we really stumbled across our sound, in my opinion. This
Oh,
is, I
that's
don't know if
cool.
anybody
That's cool.
else
Yeah.
disagrees or whatnot, but I personally think that we really found our sound with
Okay.
Hansha, which is a song off the record before that, the record Hikari.
Hikari.
We've always tried to experiment with mixing electronic elements, but not in like a synthesizer way. We've tried to do it in more of a lo-fi way and more of a like relaxing type beat mixed with not so relaxing metal. But I think we really found our unique thing when we did the song Hansha.
Chris,
Um,
I have to interrupt you and I have to ask you,
okay.
because you did produce the album. Do you think the fact that you produced the album was important to that sound of Oceans that you mentioned before?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe so. I think that the production side of things does have a big involvement in the Ocean sound. So yeah, I believe that does play a part of it.
Hmm.
Which is funny because I actually didn't write or produce the beat for Hansha. Somebody else did that. One of our friends called Clem. He made that beat. But following on from there, we really wanted to do more Hansha. We really liked it. And that's when we wrote Metamorph, which I think is, you know, cut from the same cloth. I think it's very much similar. Ocean's unique sound, and a lot of the beats on Disparity, I think, share that quality as well. And I think that that is still continuing on now. I think that Endless Hollow, obviously, which we've done with Joel, I think it all has that very unique sort of Oceansy feel to it. So yeah, I absolutely think that they're linked and related.
Hmm. I have to ask you, when do we have the chance to have a new album?
Well, we've been working pretty hard at it actually.
Yeah.
We've been together a lot. We've been putting in a lot of hours. I believe we're 6 out. We want to do 10. I believe we're 6 out of 10 in now.
Yeah.
So we're very much on our way.
Oh.
There's been a couple of setbacks. Unfortunately, I am the current setback because I actually had surgery 2 weeks ago. We don't need to get into it.
No.
Yeah.
But are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah.
That's a real can of worms.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But the past 2 weeks, we've kind of done nothing because I've been out of action, and that it sucks. It doesn't feel nice not hanging out and not working towards it. But
Chris, that's
yeah.
a problem because you have to work harder when you are 100%
Yeah,
to give a good gig in Portugal, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to promise me that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing everything I can to be fully recovered for that. That'll be the first show back. That'll probably be my first time playing drums back since the
Wow.
surgery. So
All the eyes will be on you.
yeah.
No, don't stress. Don't stress. Don't stress. Stress is not good for recovering. No.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
No, it's not. Tell me one thing. Go back to the other guys, and Mike also too.
Camera angle A, please.
Camera 2.
Camera 2.
No, we're 2. They're 1.
You're 2.
No. Could be. Okay, so tell me one thing. You play metalcore, modern metalcore, and it's a very, I don't know how to say this in English, but it's a very da da da. Everything is quite on the spot. Okay, on the spot. So I have to ask you, Oceans at Alaska is how do you say, a live band or a studio band? Which one do you prefer the best, being on studio or being on stage?
I prefer stage personally.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I love playing shows. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
And because I've literally been in the band for the time that I have, I'm still like, I want to do more. I want to do more. Yeah.
You don't stand still on stage. No. You go crazy.
The caveman. Yeah, what about you?
I like them both for different reasons. Like
Yeah.
I love playing live shows because it's it's just a very exciting environment, and seeing people react to your music as well is obviously very, very nice. You know, as long as they're reacting in a positive way, obviously. You know, nobody's getting hurt and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's really fun playing live shows and doing tours as well. It's just exciting being like, oh, we're going to this place the next day, this place, and so on. But also recording's fun as well when we're writing. Like when we land on an idea for something that we've just, you know, if we've been on something for a while and then all of a sudden it clicks, it's like, yes, that's so sick. And we obviously enjoy each other's company as well, so we're always having a good time. So yeah, they're both sick for different reasons for me.
Camera 2 or 1?
You're right.
Mike.
No, I'm exactly the same. Shows are incredibly fun to play. Like we say, as long as the crowd's having a good time, yeah, they're great fun. And then when we're here in the studio, I just love, you know, hanging out with the boys, get a good cup of tea on, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Cup of tea?
Cup of tea and biscuit. Nice goes down a tree.
I'm actually ready for a cup of tea. Very.
Oh, we'll be putting the kettle on shortly.
That's fun. And you, Chris, what do you like the best?
Oh, I don't know if I could pick. They're very different for me. I like them both equally, but for different reasons.
Yeah, of course.
For me, composition time, studio time, I get like a mental sense of achievement, and I feel that I feel really like mentally fulfilled, like it ticks a big creative box in my brain. I don't get that sense of achievement live, but live I get this physical outlet instead, where I actually get to play the drums and be a part of all the hard work we put in the studio. And it's I love both. I love meeting fans, and I love going to new places, and I love playing drums, but I also love having a creative outlet and feeling that sense of accomplishment when we, you know, finally get something that we all love, and you know, that's a really great feeling as well. So
yeah,
I love both. I honestly can't pick. I really can't.
You love both, but that's cool, because when you do a record, I'm not a musician. I only play on the doorbell. Ding, ding.
Right,
No.
nice.
I'm not. And now you're saying
We
I
could
will.
use you on the next record.
No?
Yeah.
Ding, ding. But that's pretty cool, because I think for a musician, and a great musician as you are all, it must be very exciting to be on stage. But when we are together creating, and that kind of eureka, we found something, we have something, it must be really, really, really cool and satisfying.
It really is. And we do this thing a lot, especially more so recently, where we write music to visualizers. So when we finally start, I say finally, because we often like make multiple different song starters, we call them. So I hear a lot of bands talk about they'll write, you know, 40 songs and then choose their favorite 10. We don't do that. We tend to write 10 different song starters and then pick the one that we like, and then just make that song.
Go through there.
Yeah, and then we'll write another 10 song starters, and then when we pick one we like, we'll do that. So we do it a bit differently, but
how many songs do you have putting on? I don't know, somewhere to pick up again.
Oh, there's we call it the graveyard. There's hours of music in the graveyard.
I imagine so.
Yeah, but we've been writing a lot to visualizers. So when we decide on a song starter that we want to develop into a full song, we discuss how it makes us feel, and then we'll pull up something on YouTube that visually represents that. And we'll just, you know, mute the video. And whenever we write a new section, we pull the visualizer up and we watch the visualizer as we listen to the song. And it's really cool because it shines a whole new light on it. If the new section doesn't really fit with the visualizer, then we think maybe it doesn't really fit the vibe of this song. But when you can press play on the visualizer and press play on the song and just watch the whole thing, and it's almost like you're watching a movie, then we're like, oh, we nailed the vibe on this song. This is cool.
I know what you're telling me, because that's why my son likes you so much, because he's also a musician, and when he's trying to compose and do things in his studio, the room. Okay.
That's all studio is. It's a room.
I look at the door, and I always see him at the visualizer and seeing things, and I can see that when he's really happy, all things together they like unite and make some like a good compact.
Right. That's really cool to hear, actually.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
That's really awesome. Tell him thumbs up from us. He's doing good.
Yeah. Tell me one thing. In Hikari, you had some, because we have some fascination about Japan. You have some instruments, I think, from Japan and everything. Where did you have that idea?
I was you were working on instruments separately, weren't you?
Yeah, that was something I was kind of cooking up on the side, I think.
You like hip-hop, I don't forget that.
Honestly, it was so long ago. I kind of
you're experimenting with different instruments, and then Jibs rocks up with his guitar and busts a breakdown on one of them, and then it just sort of escalated from there. Really.
Is that how it started? I forgot.
I remember you wrote like, I don't know, was it Escapist, the first song we were working on?
Is that the first?
Was it the car?
I don't know. No, for the actual for the Japanese thing, for the actual Japanese.
Camera 2, camera 1.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I think like the first thing was Veridical, which was actually just a.
Oh, did I just make a beat then?
Yeah, so Chris made the beat for that, and then he showed me, and I was like, "Oh, let's put some breakdowns over it." And then that it kind of just went. It kind of just got silly from there, and then Chris just went on a mad one, making all these crazy samples.
That's wonderful.
And then obviously we had the Hansha sample as well, and that's when we started working with Clem a little bit more. And then just kind of went from there.
That's cool. That's cool. Now you are coming to Portugal, to Comendatio.
Yes.
And I have to ask, the lineup that you are thinking on bringing to the show, will it have all the 3 records? Just new songs? Don't tell me everything, because we like to keep it secret, but tell me just a little bit. What are your intentions concerning the lineup?
You remember that CD? Now that's what I call music.
I don't know.
I don't think they have that in Portugal.
Well, it's going to be that's what I call oceans. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely a good mix
of a healthy mix.
It's a good mix of the current stuff and then some of the oldie goldies as well.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I don't know what we're playing. Why not?
We don't know what we're playing. Oh my god, we don't know any songs.
I've forgotten everything.
No, it's a cool set. We're really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you later.
One thing that we like to do. One thing that we really like to do with our live sets is put little silly things in there. We're not very serious people. We like to, have fun and be a bit silly. And we like to put like memes and like meme sounds in the set. So
really?
Yeah.
So whatever songs are there, just know that'll be meme sounds.
So relevant of the set list, you can expect some music.
Might be some songs in there.
So we can expect how do you say, a pretty, how can I say this in English, a pretty animated, I don't know if the word is right.
We'll go with it. Yeah.
You go with it. A pretty animated show.
Yeah. It should be.
And what do you expect from the Portuguese audience?
Have we played it? We've played in Portugal before.
A long time ago.
Did we play? We played Lisbon, right?
Yeah, it was on the.
We played
the Hikari release tour.
Yeah, we played Lisbon and Porto.
That was it.
Right, we did. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Probably 8 years ago, I think. It's a long time ago.
Right.
We would have played Portugal in 2018, I think. Actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I forgot. I'm so sorry. What was the question?
What do you expect from us?
Personally, I'm expecting some sun and some beer.
Sangria.
That's kind
sun, beer, sangria.
Sun, beer, sangria. 3S, sun, beer. No. BSS. Oh, whatever.
Yes, I'm expecting beers.
Because I know that everybody is pretty, I don't know, anxious, excited to have you back in Portugal again. I know that everybody's talking about that. Yes.
No, we're definitely excited. Yeah, I remember having a really fun time last time. I don't know about you guys.
It was nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember the area was just so cool. It was such a cool place to be. So.
It was nice.
Yeah, and Yeah, personally, I'm very, very excited. I'm just
And-
excited for it to be what it is. You know,
Okay.
whatever it will be, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Why can you?
Wait, what?
And you, what do you expect from us?
I don't know.
You don't know?
BS as well.
Beer,
Yeah.
beer, sun.
I'm just looking forward to a nice trip to Portugal. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We have nice food too. Okay.
Oh, right.
okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't drink without it. Bo.
What would you recommend?
What's the best food that we should genuinely watch? What's your food recommendation?
Everything is good. You can try anything. No, absolutely.
And everything.
Yeah.
No, of course. And in Tomar, you are going to stay in Tomar. Tomar is in the kind of middle of the country, and they have fabulous food, very genuine, so you can eat everything. They have great soup. I don't know if you like soup. Our soup are very good, and we have good meat over there, so you're gonna enjoy it.
And is there any like good? Would you happen to know if there's any like good swim spots? I really like swimming in like.
You
the
are
sea or lake.
recovering. You can go swim spots, okay?
It's illegal.
Wait,
That's
what?
still illegal.
Oh. No, I really like going in like every time we're somewhere where there's like a lake or like a river or something.
No, yes, there is. Yes, there
I always
is.
get really
Yes,
excited by
in
that.
Tomorrow, yes, there is. You can,
Especially after like a hot show when you're super sweaty, just go jump in a lake. It's always really
Don't
good.
forget your swim shorts.
Of course.
Oh,
Where's
don't
that one place? Oh, it's Switzerland, where the venue is on the river.
wow, I like that.
And, like literally like the front door is backs onto the walkway of this like big river thing.
You know, but in Switzerland, they are rich. They can do
Yeah.
those things. In
Yeah.
Portugal, we are poor. We cannot do those things. We don't have money for do that. But we have nice places to go swim.
There we go.
Okay. I just
Camera
remember
one.
You have the weather.
I remember we played that venue once in Switzerland, and it was so hot. I literally played the show, walked straight off stage, like because I play in my socks as well, so I didn't even put my shoes on. I just walked straight and just jumped straight in. It's absolutely
That's cool.
fantastic.
That's cool. And the other elements, go to camera one.
Camera one, please.
One. Oh, James.
Sorry.
What do you expect from us? What do you expect?
The best show ever.
Hey, that's wonderful.
The best show ever. I'm really excited, generally, just to hang out with my friends.
Oh.
Have some good food, like you said. I don't drink, so no BS for me.
Oh,
Well, that's so
iced tea.
Oh,
Iced
of course.
tea.
Okay, so no, but I thought you said the other S was sangria.
Oh, right.
No, it's
Okay.
come as one of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
Sangria, beer.
two S's, so it's BF.
Oh, okay. I'll take the middle one, but yeah, I'm excited just to meet everybody. Just play a really good show. That's good for me.
When we actually came to Lisbon last time, it was technically your winter, so it wasn't actually that warm. So I'm excited to experience Lisbon when it's hot. Yeah. So,
That's
but yeah,
pretty
all the same reasons as well. Hanging out, be cool to just come back as well because I can't remember the last time we played. Well, no, it's been a long time since we played like Portugal or Spain. You know that kind of in those kind of territories. Like when
Don't mix us. Don't mix us.
sorry,
Portugal is
No, but like when we
No,
do
just
Europe,
kidding.
it's more like Germany and like kind of going more east that side. So I'm just excited to come to like newer territory again.
Wonderful. And we are very excited to have you here. It was a huge pleasure to have you, the four of you here with us. I hope Chris don't do anything foolish and will recover very good, okay? I'm talking to you like a mother. So behave, young boy, behave.
I shall do my best.
It was an enormous pleasure, and I hope to see you all in tomorrow in Comendatio. A kiss
It was
for
really nice speaking with
which
you.
one of you?
Camera two.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, darlings. Be cool.